Hello and welcome to the customer goods specific webinar. My name's Rory. In the past, customer goods have been covered within inventory. I felt it was a good idea to break this out into its own session for a couple of reasons, just to make sure that we've got everything along the way covered, including how to set up products for customer goods, what customer goods really are, replenishments from the starting point of a customer good, and then replenishments as we're going forward once the customer is asking us to order them, depletions, pricing, so on and so forth, what they look like online for depletions, just a little bit of everything. So hopefully this will cover all sides of customer goods, and we will get started here with the menu option on the left. We're going to start with inventory, and we're going to go to customer goods. If you click on inventory, it's going to be the second tab over right here. And I have a couple examples built. We're going to disregard these. We're going to build our own on this call so we can see the whole process of doing this. So let's take a look at what's available once we are in the customer goods section and we hit new. So if we hit new, we're going to be presented with the first option is type, and we have three different types. So when you're creating a customer good, you have to ask yourself, where is this piece coming from, and kind of what are we doing with it? How many times are we charging for it? Are we charging for the initial run of something like a flyer, and then we're just shipping them out? Or are we charging for the flyer and then imprinting it? Are we charging for the flyer and then imprinting it and shipping it? Or is there a handling fee, something like that? And that's going to dictate what one of these options we're going to utilize. So customer supplied is extremely simple. If this is something that the customer drops off to you, your customer drops off to you and asks you to keep track of and fulfill as necessary. And in our scenario here, that's going to be specific to a 3-ring binder that I set up, and I'll show you with the setup of those items as we go along, but just so you can tie that together with what we're doing here. The finished good option is something that is printed, and once it's printed, it's done. There's no other charges associated with it. It's print and then release. Shell stock is something that we print, and then maybe we print again, an imprint. So maybe we print shells for business cards or for flyers, and then we imprint them as they're ordered. Or maybe there's handling fees or boxing fees, something like that, that has to go along with what we thought might be a customer good, but we need to charge in 2 different levels. That is going to be a shell stock item. Okay. So finished good is charged once, whether it's prepaid or paid upon release. Shell stock can be prepaid or not prepaid, but it can have a total of 2 different charges to it. Once at time of replenishment, once at the time of depletion. So let's go backwards. Now that we have the different options available to us for customer goods, we're kind of looking at the end, well, the middle, I'd say, the middle portion of the process. But customer goods, if we look here, if we hit new, and let's just start with customer supplied. So right here, we're going to give it a name, description, location, minimum level, and the customer that it applies to. So let's call this 3-ring binders. And we'll say that it had a silver logo on it so that we can differentiate it maybe from something else. Optional description, if you'd like to use that. The location is where it is in the warehouse. So maybe aisle 2, row B. And then do we want to set a minimum level so that we can see that an alert that it has reached below that minimum level? Next, we would choose the customer that this is specific to. And we could say Stanley Industries is going to be our example. And if we hit save, that'll bring us to the customer goods window. And here is where we can add the depletion product. Now, the depletion product is a product in your system that has all of the specs that you want to see when you place an order for release for that customer, or the specs that they want to see, right? We have to show the customer what they want to see, and we also need the instructions for what's important to our team to pull the right piece, to make sure the quantities are there, so on and so forth. So this is actually where we're going to go backwards a step. Now I'm going to go to online ordering products right here. And I have some products set up under 1057. So if we click on 1057, we'll get to this level. And here's the 3-ring binder product that I had set up. So I had created this, and we'll just take a look at what this looks like. Again, we're not buying these for the customer. They're dropping them off to us and saying, fulfill this with maybe other products on orders. And then management sees it and says, hey, why aren't we doing these? Get sales to call them. But regardless, just the name. And I have a quantity set here of 1. And then I set the quantity selection to text box and a quantity range of 1 through 999. And the reason I did this was because we want to have this, if we want to have this available on a portal so that they can order this product from a portal, we could assign it to a portal. We can make it public to all users on that portal just to save time here. And then they would be able to order this item online from a range of 1 to 999. And it would then come into us as an order. And if we assigned this product 10571 to our customer good right here, depletion product 10571. So this is our depletion. This is the way that we're depleting from inventory when this product is being utilized. So now if we were online, here's a 3-ring binder. That quantity selection with the text field option. Oh, sorry, right here. In the pricing, sorry, right here. Text box 1 through 999 is going to offer them the ability to type in how many they would like to deplete. And then that would come into us as an order in our orders section. Or production, it would also show in orders, but that would come in as an order. Now, right now, there is no inventory available at the customer good level because we've set up the customer good, but there's no inventory. So to begin with, what you can do is go to Actions, Replenish. So if you're setting this up, and this isn't something new that you're doing, and you have physical inventory for this, on the shelf currently, you could say replenish, put the quantity of how many there are in inventory. So let's say that there are 10. With a customer supplied, you're not charging them for them, so you don't have to put a price in. For a finished good or a shelf stock good, we would definitely put the pricing in. It's the price to the customer. So for this one, it's just going to be $0. So now we have a record of manual replenishment at the customer good level and inventory. So let's go through this process here, and we'll deplete 5 of them. Add to cart. Remove this. Made a couple other examples in here. Just one moment. And I did see the chat. Thank you and welcome, John. Just push this through. Shipping cannot be calculated. Oh, I don't have sorry, I don't have a shipping option for this. Just one second. So the shipping option is just showing shipped because I was testing some Shippo items in online ordering at the customer level. Let's say pickup or FedEx. Actually, it would make more sense. Sorry. That shipped option is going to go there. And that was actually This customer is who was ordering them. Let's add that here too. We'll take this out and we'll just put FedEx in. There we go. And hopefully this will go through and we don't have any other issues. That process. Jump over here. Okay, so the order is in. Now it's not in the to assign category. And the reason that it's not is because at the product level, I had set up this 3-ring binder product with a queue for fulfillment. So it can go to just the standard, default workflow queue when an order is placed. But I wanted to show this as well because I feel like this is important for the process. So when we were setting up the product, and remember the product gets assigned to the customer good, we can set a queue so when it's ordered, it can go directly to a queue that makes sense. So it doesn't need to go to assign or through graphics, design, out on proof, so on and so forth. I have it going right to fulfillment so that whoever's in fulfillment can see that this is here and they can pull these based on the information that's provided. Quantity of 5, they can see where it is. And there's also an online order status available on this item showing that it's coming from online. So they know that somebody didn't write this up, but came in online and it's right to this queue. So now they can work with it from here, which is very helpful so that it doesn't clog up the other areas as far as, so I'm just looking for the answer on that too, so we don't get too far ahead. As far as just general orders. And inventory customer goods. Yep, here it is. Okay, so there was a question and I did see it. I didn't want to get too far down the line, but I didn't want to stop either. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. I think it's a very important question. Who receives notification when minimum level is reached? So what I want to show you is, first of all, if you're not seeing this setting, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. So settings, go to security first, go to whatever security role you're looking to utilize. I'm going to use internal administrator. And this is a relatively new feature. This may not be turned on some systems because when it was added, it's not defaulted to be on. But if you turn on preferences, notifications, and emails, save, and then you go to settings, account, and I'll go to my user. And at the bottom, that will provide you with preferences. Here's where you can default to item edit mode. If you're not doing that yet, I strongly suggest that you do. It makes it very easy. So when you click into an item, you're automatically in edit mode and you don't need to hit view edit mode from view mode. But down here, this first section is notifications. So that's this notification bell here. You can set this to customer goods inventory so that you'll be alerted, or I believe it's down here as well under emails. So these are emails that you could receive as well. Let me see if it's here. Did we go past it? Quotes, invoices, proofs. We may not have it for that side. I apologize. I thought that we did transactional statements. Yeah, so we can do a notification there. Let's clear this one. We'll make sure that it's working. We haven't reached that level yet. We don't have a level on there, but I can set one and we can see if that works for us. If it doesn't, I'll figure out why not though. I got to cover myself here. So I'm back in the customer good, minimum level. Right now there would be 5 when it went away. So let's say the minimum level is 6. Okay, so we have our, make sure I've got this right. Here we go. We've got our item. It's showing online order. It's also showing a status of depletion so that we know that we're pulling that from inventory and that it's coming out that way. And then there's an unposted. This is a system status that you're probably used to seeing, but this will also give an idea of what type of amounts are available within the system. If we look at the customer good level, let me refresh this. You can also see if you pull this down, that item 10901 is pulling a quantity of 5. So 5 are there. It hasn't been pulled yet because this order that this is on is not done yet. So let's move this over to, just to kind of role play here a little bit, to shipping. We'll go to the order level of this item. We'll say that this shipped. We can create a shipment for it here. You can put in a total, save, and we can post this item. And now at the customer good level, if we refresh this, we have 5 on hand, 5 available, and this order item has been pulled. And there's a link to this item as well. Now, I didn't get the notification. I don't know if it was because I put it in while we were doing that, not at the very beginning, or if I didn't refresh a certain page, but I'll look at that for you. And I'll get that information over to you. No problem at all. I can even append it to this this recording as well. Not a problem. So that is the setup for a customer supplied good. If we wanted to deplete, like we said, we offered that online. If we wanted to deplete that within the shop manually, we could go to orders, new, three ring binders, choose the customer, choose a contact, save. And when I said that when it uses that product, it's pulling from inventory. Now there's one stipulation. We can't go new from product because we're not utilizing the customer good. In order to pull from inventory, we need to go goods, deplete, and then we can deplete from there. And that will pull the product in via the customer good functionality. So the customer good is really just kind of a bridge between orders, inventory, and the product. So now we pull that in, and here we can make adjustments to this based on how many they would like to order. And then when this is completed, those will come out of inventory as well. So we'll post this one, run back to our customer good level, and now we'll have 2 lines and 2 available. 2 pieces available because we've pulled 3 and we've pulled 5. If we were looking to replenish this product, if they brought more to us, we could run it through the system as an order by going to goods replenish, or you could do a adjustment right here at the customer good level. So this would be a manual adjustment to say that they dropped off 10 more. Oops, 10 more. Save, that'll add a row for a manual adjustment. If you were to go to an order, and with the customer supplied, I don't know that if they needed a record that it was done and then you wanted to put it on an order, I guess that would work. But you're not billing them for anything, you're not producing anything. So a manual adjustment might make sense. But again, if you want a better paper trail, you may want to just say, and it's important to spell replenishment right. Sorry. And let's go here. but I'll show you what that process looks like. In this case, we would go goods replenish. Oh, I'm sorry. No, actually, that's not going to work because we don't have a replenishment product on there. I'm thinking of the finished good in the shell stock. So actually, in order to replenish, we would have to do adjustment here. Sorry. So we could put it in here, say that there was 10 more coming in. My apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself. There we go. And then we have a record of manual adjustment that they dropped more pieces off right here.
Clarify, Roy, you said the only way we could do replenishment is if it's something actually we're producing, not something that's being supplied by the customer. Is that what you meant?
You can do at the order level, yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, because on a finished good or a shell stock good right here, there would be, which we're going to go into next, there'll be a replenishment product option, which is what this is pulling from right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that is customer supplied. I'm not sure how many of those you might run into, but the capabilities are there for that. The next one we'll look at, if we go to inventory customer goods, is new, a finished good. So we can say, is this prepaid or not? And the name will say, what did we call this? I apologize. Let me go to my products, make sure I get the naming conventions right so it all makes sense. 1057 winter sales flyers, I just called it. There we go. Optional description, location in the shop. And then this one, when we choose finished good, we're being prompted for a replenishment product, which is exactly what we were just talking about. This is the set of rules and specifications that will pull into the order in regards to how we replenish inventory for this product for the client. So what I had done was I created 10572 and 10573 as options for winter sales flyers. And I got the names wrong a little bit. I'll fix that. And I just wrote here replenishment so I knew which one, but you can see this one is written up for 10,000. And that's a starting point. It doesn't have to be exactly, the quantity that they're going to be ordering, but put in what they normally order as an option. So I have 10,000 pieces. These are set up to run 4 up on 1925, 4/4 on an offset press. Just your normal specs for how you would write up an order, but put it into a product, or how you would write up a product to bring it into an order. Same idea. So this is 10572. So we're going to choose the replenishment product 10572 number. That is the product that has all the settings for us for how we replenish. And then we'll hit save. That will bring us to the same screen that we saw for the customer supplied good, where we can now add the depletion product. Now with a finished good, it is possible to utilize the same number, 10572, for the depletion. The only thing that I would say the reason I would say not to do that is because they're not going to deplete 10,000 at a time every time, and you're going to have to change that number every time, and you still might have to change the number. But especially if they're going to be putting this online, or if you're going to be putting this online for them to order the depletions, you want to set up a secondary product right here. And this one is under 1057. It's this right here. I created a second option. And we'll just change the name so those match. But this has quantities of 10, 20, and 30. So again, it's based on what the customer wants the ability to do. So if they order these in 10, 20, or 30 pieces at a time, leave quantity selection at the product level on dropdown. I set a press against this of no press, bindery only. We're not charging anything for the depletion, but it's giving them what they need when they are online. Right here, winter sales flyers, 10, 20, 30. And if they click in here, they can see that as well. So if it is set amounts, you definitely want to create another product for it. But if you wanted to, you could utilize the same product, have one product for the replenishment and the depletion. That's fine. I think, Susan, that's what we had gone over on some of your products, and you're utilizing one for replenishment, one for depletion. And hopefully it's a little bit more to set up, but like we had talked about, it's a little easier to manage in different scenarios. Okay, think about when we're replenishing, we want to have certain notes on that type of order that are going to go through the shop to create the order. On the depletion product, we could have certain notes or information specific to packaging and how this is going out the door. Just kind of separating that, I feel like, is a good idea. It's not 100% necessary, but it just gives you a little bit more control over what's going on. So same idea here. This is the flyer. So we'll go depletion product. We'll add that item right here. That's 10573, I believe. There we go. Now it's possible to have multiple products that it depletes from the inventory if you'd like. We're just going to set the one. There are links to each of these items as well, so you can get to them. And then if this was something that you're setting up and you have inventory currently on the shelf, same idea. Actions, replenish. And you can put in a certain amount of product. Let's say there's 5,000. We would need to look at what the price, the sell price was for 5,000. So if 10,000 was, just one moment. Take a look at this on the replenishment. 62 divided by 2. So I'll just break that in half. Oops, this one right here. And this is the price to the customer of the good. So that amount of inventory has a price and a per piece price. It's breaking it all down for you, showing you value left, on hand and available, manual replenishment with the date that that was done. And then the same process holds true. We can order this online from the depletion. It's going to pull that from inventory. It'll show as an order item. On this item, I think I have it set up the same way, 10573, which is right here. Going to the fulfillment queue. This also is an option that's nice, that the depletion product can go right to a queue. If you were using one product for replenishment and depletion, you wouldn't be able to separate the queue for each of those. It would just have to go to a default queue, which maybe that's okay for you. That's totally fine with me. I'm not saying you're going to miss out on a ton, but it's just, again, a little bit more control over the process and each specific scenario within a product. So again, we can order these online. We can also order them the same way via an order. Let's go to that order that we had started for the other item. That was replenishment of binders. And this is winter sales flyers. There we go. We'll just change that. We can deplete or replenish via the goods button right here. And that same option, it's going to charge once. So if we deplete, excuse me, let's pull this one. And it's saying 10, and it's breaking down that per piece price of the inventory that's available for 10 pieces. And that is because that product, the customer good, I should say, inventory customer goods. Start base, flyers right here. When we had set it up, it was marked as prepaid now. So it's taking the amount, the price per, based on the inventory level and the price that we put in, and it's applying that to the quantity that they're ordering. So if it was prepaid, it would have a price of 0. So again, with a finished good, you can have a replenishment and a depletion product to better leverage adding inventory as opposed to depleting inventory, but you can only charge at one level. And that's where the third type of customer good comes into play. And that is customer goods. Let's get rid of these so we don't have So many things open. New. And this one is going to be shell stock. So let's mark this as prepaid. For the first part, the replenishment will be prepaid. And in this case, we're going to be utilizing a business card scenario where we're printing a shell stock and then we're offering imprints at a later time. So they're ordering all the shell stock, which is always nice to have inventory, prepaid. So we're not sitting on it. Business card shells. We could just say business cards here. Location, minimum level, replenishment product again. Now, in this case, I set up a product and we'll review these together. 10574. So I coded this out. I even put in here standard size business card base printed 4/4, and I just put replenishment so I knew that it was the right one. Add, save, and then we can add the depletion product. So let's add that, and then we'll investigate those two products to see how those are set up. 10575, I believe. Yep. Business card imprint. So we have links to them right here. We'll do that, and we'll do that to open those in new tabs. So the business card base, which is the replenishment product, and you can also see that it's part of a customer good at the product level, which is very helpful. This is a part of a customer good. There's a link to it. It is a replenishment product, and it is a shell stock type. So it's giving you information throughout. We have a quantity of 10,000 here. That's what they order and that is 10,000 of the flat size, we should say. So that's enough for 10,000 cards. It's not 10,000 24 up bases. Okay. So we want to make sure the inventory increment that we're entering in is the same that we're depleting. So you almost want to say, well, how are they depleting inventory? Is it, we go to here, 250 or 500, 3.5 by 2s? Well, then we need to put in the inventory at the same size, and the amount should be specific to that amount of cards. Okay, so this product is set up to run 4/4 digital color, one color sheet, two-sided, digital color press. It's running 24 up, which I matched on the other product. We have 100-pound digital cover that we're running these on. So the stock is there. That's for how we replenish. Remember, this is all the information for what we want to see when we replenish. So when we use this to replenish, it goes into an order. It makes sense to pre-press. The digital department and bindery knows that they can leave those. You could even put a note in here, leave as 1319, was it 13? Yeah, 13 by 19 sheets for future imprint. So we could put in a note right here, which might be helpful. And the more information we can give in the right areas, the better off it's going to work down the line. And sometimes you have to go through the process and kind of observe all the steps and have good communication with your team for them to say, you know what, it'd be nice if I knew this. Oh, well, we can do that. We can build that into the front end. So when it gets to you, it's there, it's visible, and everything's good. Or more things are good than were before. We can't always promise everything is going to be great in printing because sometimes we're throwing curveballs on a daily basis. So that is the replenishment. And then the depletion product that we used, 10575, is set up with quantities of 250 or 500. And I set this as product pricing as well. So calculate by product. Now I see this happen a lot. People force in, all right, it's 15 and it's 18. That will work if it's just two quantities that are being offered. But this is kind of a bad habit to get into because if you did have text box and they were able to order 300, it's not going to be able to create a price for 300 because you're only dictating 250 and 500. So product pricing, calculate by product, is really not this, but we want product pricing on right here. And then we're going down to quantity calculation options, choosing quantity. And if you want to do times versions, times sheets, times sets, if you need to, that's totally fine. But then you're building out the pricing table right here. Quantity up to 250. Take a look at what that would look like if I hit new. 250 total price $15, and then I did one for 500. That is an override on press pricing to charge that amount for the imprint. And if you recall, when we set up the customer good, we marked it as prepaid. So here we are with our business card. We can do a manual replenishment. If it's prepaid, we don't have to put in any price because there is no price assigned to it. And then when we go to an order, this would just be business card imprints. And we can go to goods, deplete. And one thing I didn't mention, when you hit replenish or deplete, it's only going to show products that match that category. It's not going to show a depletion product in replenishment and have you mistakenly choose that. I hit goods deplete. These are the depletion options only. You're not seeing the replenishment option for the business card or for the winter sales flyer or anything like that. So it's just important to mention that as well. So here's our business card imprint. Add. And then if we wanted to add another one, maybe there's two names. And you can also see these are charging out at $15. If this one was 500 and one was 250, just select this quantity, save, new item screen, saving the day again. And that price is going to change based on the product price that was set. If we go back to the customer good level for the business card, I have a couple in here. It's this one. You can see that there's 5,000 on hand, 4,205, 250, sorry, 250 available, and it's specific to those two item numbers. Those are not pulled yet because the item, the order level is not posted. Once that's posted, then that will be marked as pulled. All right, so I think we've got everything covered. I'm going to open this up to discussion off the call. If you guys want to stay on, hold on one second, I'll stop the recording.